Hey guys, welcome back to another video over here on the Chinese Zodiac and horoscopes. Today we're going to be doing a reading for you guys born in the year of the snake. So welcome back all my snaky friends. I have to also express my apologies for not being on last week. I had some unexpected things that took my attention, but I am back. So let's pick up from where we left off and get this reading out the way so that we can catch up with you guys. Let's just shuffle these around, mix them up and down, and stop about there. And we're going to take that one from the bottom, we're going to take that one from the middle, we're going to take this one from the top. What have we got? Okay, so we have got one white and two blacks there. Let's not be downhearted though with the two negatives, because black isn't always an attack and white isn't always all right. It all depends on that compatibility when we flip them over. That white, however, is certainly all right, because that rooster is in the same triangle as you. It's in the same affinity triangle as the snake, so that is a good card. I will apologise, I've got glare here because of the lighting, which is limited and not great, so I do apologise. But we have got the white rooster there. What we're seeing right now is you taking control and taking charge. Maybe this has something to do with finances, or definitely resources that you are in control of or responsible for. You've had to admit that you're the general in the army. And if you're, excuse me, and if you are wanting discipline, if you are wanting routine, if you are wanting, organization, you're going to have to command it. And we've seen this as a reoccurring thing for the snakes, to take charge, to take control, to bite back, to release that venom. And I think this is what you're doing here. Of course, it's going to have consequences. There is going to be repercussions, but you need to hold your ground like that rooster would, because that rooster is I'm going to stand my ground and I'm going to take what you throw at me and I'm going to double it and I'm going to throw it back. And of course, that rooster is your ally here, so it is throwing back for you, not against you. Which, with appreciation, if you appreciate this, appreciate that sort of taking control, is to say, don't feel bad for taking control of the situation. You may have said a few harsh things, you may have had to be a bit firmer than usual, you may have actually had to, put your literal foot down and make a stand. And you may feel a bit guilty for that, you may judge yourself for that, but you shouldn't judge yourself for that. You should appreciate that you've got that in you and that you've been able to take control, because not a lot of signs can do this. You should appreciate who you are. Also, with this white rooster as well, there could be some sort of, as I say, financial aspect to it. And I think organising stuff and getting things, sorted is a way of being able to take control of those finances, preparing bills that are coming, or putting a bit of money to one side for a rainy day, or just something financially you are organizing or you are becoming on top of, which is great, which is good, because as a snake person, you're great with things when it comes to, figuring out your lists and your admin and things like this. So that is definitely a strength that you really should, again, appreciate. A lot of self-appreciation. You also need to prepare yourself, because there is obviously a bit of negativity or a black cloud that is hovering over you. Regardless of the compatibility, we are still looking at a negative space. We've got that rabbit coming in to flip things around, because there's a catalytic moment just about to happen. There is a change about to happen, and although there are no great animosities between the snake and the rabbit, an example of black not being an attack, the change that you're going to go through is going to be one that's going to happen very, very quickly, and you're not going to expect it, and I think it's going to hit you quite hard. It could have an element of it to what I was saying earlier about how you feel guilty or you feel bad. Maybe you feel you could have been a bit more diplomatic or a little bit more understanding of a situation. Maybe you could have tried a little bit harder to adapt or to, compromise. However, the damage is done. The change is now afoot. It's going to happen very, very quickly. At least we can thank it for that it's going to come in quick, and things are going to take a more direct route, rather than making a detour around, in circles, which is just going to cause you more upset, more pain, more complications. It's going to be direct, so that's good. And there's always time to be a little bit more diplomatic. There's always time to renegotiate. This is not the time. And you're not really the type of person to openly declare war either, you know. So maybe you should just, you know, instead of trying to be diplomatic and making allies, instead of declaring war and making enemies, maybe just remain neutral in this situation that you've kind of got yourself out of, and you've now kind of left behind. You've organized stuff, you've got yourself into this place. Things are now starting to change. You're going to feel the shift. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but you should definitely stand your ground on this. I think you should definitely stand your ground on this, and you shouldn't go to war. You shouldn't create allies or try too hard for other people and try to win them over to your cause. No, just stay neutral. You stand your ground on your side of the fence. You have your territory. You have your zone. Stay in your zone and defend that zone. There's no need to go out there or go out of your way for unnecessary reasons. I think with this rabbit as well, what we're also seeing is a bit of a spiral in morale. We're seeing a little bit of, again, it could come back to just feeling a bit guilty or feeling bad that what's happened now is, as a result of your actions or your behavior or how you've been, something's happened that has created this consequence or this change, and now you feel, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh, now I feel bad about it. Now I don't like it. I don't like the outcome. Well, change is inevitable. This was probably always going to happen. You were just that catalytic moment for it all to unfold. What happens next, however, isn't going to be determined around this. It's going to be determined around what you do about it, your response to it, how you react to it. The change has already happened. You can't change that. It's your attitude towards it now that you need to look at, because the change isn't over yet. The change that you're feeling, this guilt or this, remorse, this kind of, feeling bad about a certain situation, that's going to create its own problems. But then from that, you trying to fix it could create a bigger problem. You could create something that's going to be more dragged out than it needs to be. The change was going to be very, very fast and direct. However, maybe you've put your foot down and made it trip up a little bit, and that's caused a little bit of a ruckus. And you don't need to do that. As I say, you don't need to go out there starting wars. You don't need to. You've done your bit. You've done your bit. You've done your bit. Now you just need to defend what you've got. Defend that peace that you have found. Of course, it's going to feel empty. It's going to feel a little bit unusual. It's going to feel different to what you're used to, because this peace that you have got and what you are protecting is something that you're not used to. But going looking for problems is just going to be that, a problem. The goat or the sheep and the snake, they aren't the most compatible. They're not. And I think in this time right now, you're probably going to frustrate yourself. You're going to frustrate yourself more than other people are going to frustrate you. Almost like you're going to feel guilty that you haven't done more for you. And although some snakes may not want to hear it, snakes are, after all, rather vain. And although failures aren't necessarily something they dwell on, they don't like to look bad you don't like to look as if you are weaker than you are. Which is fair enough. That's fair enough, because you aren't as weak as sometimes it could be portrayed. And that's why you need to stand your ground. That's why you need to spit venom. That's why you need to rattle that tail. That's why you need to, hiss and spit. Show those fangs sometimes. You need to do that. Otherwise, as a snake, you could potentially get all walked over. And that's not going to end well for anybody, especially the person that's trying to do the walking on over. But we'll find out how you get on with that, won't we, next week when we come back and do another reading for you guys born in the year of the snake. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll be back next time with a video for those born in the year of the horse. So if you are interested in what the horses are up to, I will see you in a video for them next. If not, no worries. I'll just see you next week. Love and peace.